Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Pranam Mataji and Prabhus. Yes. Hare Krishna Pranam Prabhu. Yeah, we can start with the opening prayers. Who would like to do?
Hare Krishna Mataji. If nobody is doing, can I do?
Yeah, Shilpa Mataji do.
Hare Krishna. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Guru Navaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalitan Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you Mataji.
Hare Krishna Pranam. Today we will be seeing the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 59th verse. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Yes, who would like to read the verse? Please do it.
Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate.
Yeah. Anybody?
Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Uma Mataji, you read. After that, Prabhu, you can read. Yeah. Yeah, read. Whoever wanted to read, please read.
Vishaya vinivartante niradarasya dehinah rasavrajam rasoabhi asya param drishtva nivartate.
Hare Krishna. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rahavajjam raso apyasya param drishtva nivartate. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah. Read.
Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
I'll read Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, read Mataji. Yeah, read Mataji.
Shall I read Mataji?
No, one Mataji had started reading, no?
Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
After that, Mataji, you read. Yeah.
Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasya paramam drishtva nivartate.
Param drishtva nivartate.
Param drishtva nivartate.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bindu Mataji, read.
Yes, Mata. Vishaya vinivartante niraharyasa dehinam rasavarjam raso api asya param drishtva nivartate. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Then, anybody else?
May I read Mataji?
Yeah. Read, Mataji.
विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसो अप्यस्य वरे दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. Yeah. So we will see the synonyms word to word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody else wants to read the word?
Can I say it once
Yeah,
more?
yeah, yeah. Read.
Yes. Hare Krishna. विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्ज्यं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते.
Yes.
हरि ओम्.
Vishayaha, objects for sense enjoyment. Vinivartante are practiced to be refrained from. Niraharasya, by negative restrictions. Dehinaha, for the embodied. Rasavarjam, giving up the taste. Rasaha, sense enjoyment. Api, although there is. Asya, his. Param, far superior things. Drishtva, by experiencing. Nivartate, he ceases from. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in his consciousness. So here, we'll first understand the first line. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha. Vishaya means the objects of sense enjoyment. How one actually refrains from enjoying this, how are practiced to be refrained from. Vinivartante. We have the sense objects which attract us to indulge for sense enjoyment, but then we practice to refrain from it. Niraharasya dehinaha. For the embodied soul, dehinaha, for the embodied soul, the jiva in this material body, you have restrictions. This is not good. So we have to avoid this. So it is practiced so that we can avoid indulging in activities which are negative. That is the first part of the shloka. We know what is good, what is bad. We are taught according to Shastra, according to moral standards. We know the do's and don'ts, and then we practice to refrain from indulging in activities which are prohibited. That is a practice. But still, in spite of knowing the do's and don'ts, this is good, this is bad, this is not to be done, still people indulge in it. What are the 4 regulative principles one has to follow in the spiritual path?
16 times chanting.
Mataji, that is a sadhana, practice. The regulative principles I am asking. 4 regulative principles.
No intoxication.
Yeah.
No gambling.
No gambling. 4 things.
Yes. No meat eating, no gambling, then no illicit relationship.
Intoxication.
Yes. And no intoxication. Illicit relationships and no intoxication. So these are the regulative principles mentioned in the Shastra. If one refrains from this, then at least they are following dharma, they are in the mode of goodness, and then it is the base on which one actually progresses in the spiritual path. But in spite of, even if not in the spiritual path, at least he leads a life without committing sins, a dharmic life. But in spite of knowing that, illicit sex is wrong, intoxication is wrong, gambling is wrong, meat eating is wrong, still people engage in it. Why?
No sense control.
No sense control. Then
We want to enjoy.
enjoyment. Then
They don't follow Veda.
they don't follow Shastra. They don't
Believe.
think that following Shastra or rules and regulations is important or essential, then
They
Addictions.
don't know the value of spiritual path.
they don't know the value of spiritual path,
Too much addicted, Mataji.
too much addiction,
Lack of willpower.
Ignorance.
Temporary pleasure.
they are in ignorance.
Temporary
All this
pleasure.
is, yes, Prabhu?
Temporary pleasure.
Temporary pleasure. They are very much interested in that momentary pleasures they derive out of.
Yes.
So those are the people who just don't follow any rules and regulations. Now we'll come to the second category, whom we were discussing in the first part of the verse, that they are restricting their sense enjoyment by practicing. They are practicing, they know the rules and regulations, they are controlling themselves, they are restricting it. But what happens is, even when you restrict, the second part of the shloka, if we read, Rasavarjam raso api asya. Even if you have restricted your senses from enjoyment and indulgence, does that taste or desire go away? Prabhupada is giving an example of a person here, a patient. When he is sick, automatically his body doesn't accept whatever usually he eats. Maybe he has a full meal during lunch and dinner, but when he is sick, his body is not accepting. So he actually at that time he is unable to take it. He has a stomach upset, or maybe he has high fever. At that time he cannot eat. But does that mean that he has lost the taste for such food? Or does he not have the desire to have that food?
Because he's not able to take
No.
Mataji, that's why he doesn't take.
But the taste is there within him. The
When he
taste is
becomes
still there.
normal, again he'll eat.
Yes,
Yes.
Compulsory, he has to eat like that.
yes. So, Prabhupada writes here, the process of restriction from sense enjoyment by rules and regulations is something like restricting a diseased person from certain types of eatables. So, we are all suffering the material disease of sense enjoyment, which is causing our entanglement in this material world. So, there are these Shastric rules and regulations which help us to minimize our entanglement and reduction in sense enjoyment. But only following the rules and regulations will not remove that desire from you within, will not remove the interest in engaging our senses for our enjoyment. These are like in yoga. Prabhupada writes in Ashtanga yoga, there is yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara. Pratyahara is that aspect where they are the don'ts. You're not supposed to do this, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do. You're literally withdrawing your senses and indulging, looking inwards. You are absorbing yourself in the Lord. So that becomes the dharana, dhyana, and then samadhi. But what happens is, those desires may be lying somewhere in some corner of our heart. Though externally we are seizing all these kinds of indulgence because we are following the rules and regulations. But that desire doesn't go. See, what happens is, if you force yourself to refrain from activities, you're literally pushing yourself, forcing yourself, but somewhere the desire is lying somewhere inside, then it will cause lot of disturbance mentally and sometimes bodily disturbance also, because the hankering is there. But we are forcing ourselves, refraining ourselves because we are following the rules and regulations. It's by force you are doing it. But always there is a danger that somewhere the desire will come out in full force, and all these years, whatever rules and regulations you were following, you may just give it up. So that's called the downfall. And there are a lot of examples, even in our Shastra, of downfall. And the most famous one is of Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra was meditating for nearly doing tapasya for 10,000 years. And what did Indra do? What did Indra do?
He sent Apsara, no Mataji, Menaka.
Yes.
Urvashi.
Urvashi.
Mataji, Urvashi.
So he sent Urvashi, and immediately Urvashi could distract him. He was doing tapasya for 10,000 years. And within a minute, Urvashi distracted him. Because he was following rules and regulations, he restrained his senses from indulgence, but somewhere that desire for enjoyment was lying there. And it does not go away that easily. There comes the last part of the shloka, param drishtva nivartate. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in his consciousness. See, negation, that means following, restricting yourself by negative restrictions. Don't do this, do this only, don't do this, it's fine. But don't do this is negative, but then you have to fill that whatever you have refrained from. You see, you have controlled your senses now from indulging from material things. But somehow you have to engage those senses, otherwise they will distract you. So for that, you have to indulge something in something that is positive, that will help you grow spiritually. And for that, Prabhupada writes here, experiencing a higher taste. If you see in the word to word, param drishtva nivartate. Param means far superior things. Drishtva, by experiencing. Nivartate, he sees us from. If he only restricts himself from enjoyment, it's possible to control, but maybe the desire is still lying somewhere and someday it will come out. But if he engages his mind and senses in something far superior, in the material platform, we think of food. Taste. Tongue is all about tasting. So, you taste a particular item, maybe a sabji, a potato sabji in one at home. Then you go taste in somebody else's home. Then you taste in a hotel. Then you will feel that this is the best taste I have got. Then I don't like the other ones. That is from taste point of view. Then you see something. You see something very beautiful. And then again you go see something even more beautiful than this. And then you feel, oh, this beauty is nothing compared to that beauty. So that is, you're getting higher taste. So moment you get higher taste, then what you do? Automatically you give up the lower taste. But here, it's not about only the tongue tasting, eye seeing and enjoying. It's about the word which Prabhupada uses, drishtva, by experiencing. Experiencing, perceiving the higher, perception, vision of the higher, experience of the higher. Moment you experience something higher, then automatically all the lower engagements or enjoyments go away. So here, experiencing the higher means what? What is the meaning of experiencing the higher?
Indulging our senses in a spiritual way, that is in devotional service.
Okay.
Withdrawing from material.
Withdrawing from material is a restriction, Mataji, that you are
And
not
engaging
going to.
our senses again in a spiritual thing.
Yes. So, see, if one is following the rules and regulations, he is, living a very regulated life. He is meant to be, or rather to be understood to be in mode of goodness. But when he is aspiring and perceiving or, envisioning something superior means it has crossed the mode of goodness. It has come to the pure goodness platform. So this experience, what Prabhupada says, it's not necessarily only with our senses. It can be experience of our heart. In the heart, we can experience it. So when one comes to that platform, when, say, chanting, or maybe listening to the katha of the Lord, or maybe serving the Lord, doing some services, give us lot of happiness and satisfaction. A kind of a pleasure we may experience in our heart. Our mind may be becoming peaceful. So the moment you get that experience, all other distractions become immaterial to us. See, whatever at that platform, resisting all these distractions and temptations and sense objects becomes easier. See, if we are in mode of passion or ignorance, then whatever was very attractive to us, or we were, completely in the thought that we have to enjoy this, it goes away when we come to mode of goodness. And when you cross over the mode of goodness and come to the Shuddha Sattva platform, everything in this material world becomes immaterial. You feel that there is nothing I can enjoy in this world. There is nothing worth in this material world, which I actually have to enjoy. So it's not only about restricting, it's about engaging in something which is positive, which is higher. And when one gets the experience of that, he doesn't want anything lower. So Prabhupada writes here, but one who has tasted the beauty of the Supreme Lord Krishna in the course of his advancement in Krishna consciousness no longer has a taste for dead material things. Therefore, restrictions are there for the less intelligent neophytes in spiritual advancement of life. See, for beginners, these restrictions are important so that you can come from mode of passion, mode of ignorance to mode of goodness, so that you will give up sinful activities. That is why the 4 regulative principles: no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit relationships, because these are sinful activities. This is not, if you indulge in this, this is not that you're following even basic dharma, you are doing sinful activities. So doing sinful activities, one cannot take up to spiritual path. So for beginners, these restrictions are important. But only living a very regulated life is not good enough. You may lead a very regulated life, which is the essential, basic minimum need. It is not that I am living a very regulated life, that means I have achieved something great. No. It is the basic foundation on which the spiritual path and the perfection depends on. But all these restrictions, Prabhupada writes, are only good until one actually has a taste for Krishna consciousness. So when you are following these restrictions, and apart from following the restrictions, you are indulging, you are engaging in spiritual practices, then you will get the experience of Krishna consciousness. Now when we are reading the scriptures, we are getting the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. But when you start following the principles of Krishna consciousness, you will get the experience of Krishna consciousness. And when one is actually Krishna conscious, he automatically loses his taste for pale things. So once you get this experience of higher truth, higher position, the soul's original position is pure transcendental. Once you start getting experiences of that, nothing in this material world is attractive. If the great saint and poet and composer of Andhra Pradesh, Annamacharya, you all must have heard about his Annamacharya Kirtans. So Annamacharya was, of course, by the mercy of the Lord, he appeared to compose beautiful Kirtans, and he was actually going to be married to his, to 2 girls who were his uncle's daughters, and he was so absorbed in going behind them, and he would be singing their praises, glorifying them, and even always behind that, indulging in material enjoyment. And at that time, the Supreme Lord himself came down to actually dovetail his path for the very purpose he descended down. Annamacharya came to actually compose beautiful kirtans glorifying Lord Balaji. So, and he was busy in indulging in all these material enjoyments. So the Lord himself came and he asked, what do you see so beautiful in this? He says, see my beautiful, would-be wives, they're so beautiful. This nature is so beautiful. Everything around me is so beautiful. And seeing these women, there is no other beauty beyond them. And then the Lord said, I'm going to show you which is much more beautiful than these 2 women. And he takes him to his temple where he gets the glimpse of the Lord. Not exactly the darshan, but he gets the glimpse. And then automatically he loses interest in everything that is around him, even the girls, even the material life, his family, his home, and he hears the name, Govinda, Govinda, Narayana, Narayana, and then he follows the devotees to Tirupati and he surrenders to Lord Balaji, and there he starts composing the bhajans. So till one gets the higher experience, he will not be able to completely come out of sense enjoyment. So that's why Krishna tells to Arjun that only refraining from all these, sense objects will not help. You have to engage in the spiritual practices so that you get higher experience, and automatically the lower experiences will go away. Yes. Is this verse clear to everybody?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
Definitely.
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Well explained,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Everything. Thanks a lot, Prabhu. So one has to know that only if we stop from, I will not see a movie, I will not go for enjoyment, friends will not help. You have to positively engage yourself. Otherwise, somewhere the desire will come out after some time. Yes, somebody raised their hand. Padma Mataji? Who raised their hand? Yeah, Padma Mataji. I think by mistake Mataji raised her hand. Okay. Anybody has any doubts?
Sorry, Mata, is something went wrong with my phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thanks. Mata.
Yeah. If there are no
Hare
doubts.
Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, Shifa Mataji.
Mataji, it does happen that when we follow the spiritual path where we are chanting and we are doing all the practices that we are supposed to do, we are enjoying that also.
Yes.
But the material enjoyment parallelly is also not going away, Mataji. So
Yeah. Why
we,
does that happen?
yeah.
Why does
I
that
don't know,
happen?
Past karmas and the impression sanskaras that we have carrying from
Yeah,
our
that
previous
will take some time to go. But apart from that, our sadhana has to become quality sadhana, Mataji. So, as devotees, as neophyte devotees, when we start chanting 16 rounds, we are doing sevas, we are doing, we are reading the scriptures, but somewhere unknowingly, we are doing some offenses, because of which we are not getting the actual experiences in the spiritual path, Mataji. And we feel we are still behind material things also. I am doing this sadhana also. That is also parallelly going on. What is wrong? Why is this happening? So because of some past life karmas and desires, of course, and then somewhere nama aprad, seva aprad, all these are also happening, Mataji. So we have to be very careful.
Understood. Yes, Mataji.
Yes. Yeah. Anybody else has any doubts? Yeah. We'll close the session then. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai.
Mancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya
Patitanam pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
namo namah. All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.